I just wanted to start by apologising to anyone who has to hear this. And I also want to apologise to the zine team, Jacinta at the back, for having to design this piece and having to read it. I am so sorry. It's called Leatherbound, by the way. His callous fingers looped needles through me, threading seams and stitching parts of me together. Parts I thought I'd never see again. My brown tan skin was dehydrated from the dye and sun I had been exposed to for weeks. He used black thread dipped in beeswax and sweat, making it easier to penetrate me from every angle. It had hurt at first, but was now a sad sting. In, out, in, out. He wasn't my type from what I saw as he spun me around and continued to spread me and push me. His skin twisted and contorted, wrinkles collecting between fingers and atop his hands. He cared for me as he did the others. He spoke softly as he threaded each hole, saying, "That's it, and careful now." My skin couldn't complain. It wasn't the kindest and most gentle way I'd been handled my whole life. I was folded and bent into loops I had never thought possible, stitches holding me in a new form. Once I was sealed, he gifted me with bits of gold and a nice coat, pushing me to the front of the store. I spent most of my days hanging around, being watched, fondled, dropped. Every night, he would come clean me, wiping along my body with a dirty cloth from his back pocket. "Shh, it's okay," he would whisper. "Someone out there wants you." The dust settled along us all, the shop door smacking open and shut. The town's red dirt roads were kicked up by desert storms almost every second day. Remnants of weeds and bushes bobbed up and down the streets, other shop fronts battling the same red dirt. Soon, I noticed the stranger in town, his faint grey boots with cracked, rusty spurs. The brim of his hat was well worn, and his shirt, although tattered and stretched, sadly managed to cover his torso. As he approached the shop's front, his chin appeared from under the brim of his hat, clean-shaven and almost entirely unblemished. His skin had no wrinkles or clumps or smooth textures that excited me. I yearned for his touch, for him to yank me from the shelf and smother me from the waist down. Dreams became a reality as he turned toward me and pulled me off. The touch I wanted shot right out of me. Who wrote this? "I'd been meaning to replace my old one for some time," he said to the old man. "I know what you mean," the shopkeeper said with a greedy smile. The stranger chucked his old one aside and wrapped me around him, wrestling me toward the right side of his hip. He spun his piece around the store before shoving the shaft in me. As he walked out, he forgot to pay, and the shopkeeper called for the sheriff. We stood on the outskirts of town, me at his side. This was life. I was his, and he was mine. He rubbed his finger along me, a half-smile spawning on his lips. "I hope you've been loosened for me," he said, flicking the front of me on and off with pressure, but with patience. He opened me up one last time before pulling out and shooting directly into town. Thank you.
Round of applause for Callum. So when you submit to Litsalon, you can ask for feedback, and for Callum's feedback, he said, "No thanks, it's cute as fuck," for that piece.